Hello, it's me, Benjamin Brown. Today is February 25th, 2024. Um, it's been a while since I've made a video journal, but I just kind of wanted to touch base. So I've told you in several times, like in my past video journals, it seems to be that I'm surrounded by some sort of like government agencies and agents, and I'm here filing an asylum claim that essentially exposes that all humans are the work of genetic engineering programs and have become genetically engineered slaves, and that it is some way tied to the inhibition of consciousness and cerebral development, and also tied to the proportion of ignorance by censoring true history and true technology and true science knowledge. And I seem to be the work of a collaborative effort um, with England and with Germany and with Italy and with France and with the indigenous peoples of the mispurported Americas and possibly Chinese and Japanese and all the Asian races, and also maybe in some way some level or degree of efforts from indigenous Africans. Um, I'm waiting to hear if my case is going to be given redetermination. They rejected my case. Either they didn't seem to understand what it was that my complaints against the North American government were, or they were just being negligent and disrespectful. But at any in it, regardless of what it was that their intentions were, I'm here requesting redetermination. My existence and my story is literally tied to the assassinations of the Kennedy brothers and Martin Luther King Jr. There's a chance that some of them might have been put into hiding, but my father was really murdered by these people, and my great grandfather was really murdered by these people, and my grandmother was poisoned and reduced to a vegetable. At which point in time, my grandfather and my father had to take care of her, and she was like in diapers, and they used to have to feed her and stuff like that. So I have in some way been victimized by this operation, on top of the fact that they have bred me to two families and kidnapped my children after after my being present at their birth and cutting their umbilical cords. So my story has something to do with Judaism, it has something to do with Islam, it has something to do with Christianity, and it has something to do with Buddhism and Hinduism, and it also has something to do with the warring states of Europe and the warring families and aristocrats of Europe and the purported monarchies of Europe and Arabia. And I'm trying to really like get into shape here because I'm not entirely certain what it is that's about to happen. I'm not even sure if the Canadian state is still under control of the English and French governments. There's always been an Italian presence here. Um, and at this point in time, I'm coming to the realization that North America is essentially a slave colony, and it's predominantly populated by some sort of German, Norse, and Arab Indian, and Greek European strain. The name America is purportedly derived from an Italian explorer, but there seems to be some sort of interaction between the Germans and the Italian people sometime around World War II that led me to the assumption that they were in some way tied to the development of advanced technologies that could help them occupy space time without being detected. And you see some of it in their Panzer tanks and in their Luger pistols, which means they were in no way, shape, or form not masters of engineering and physics. And their names are elusive to some sort of Italian collaboration. Um, there's no there's no real way for me to like figure out what it is exactly that's going on. I'm here filing this asylum claim, trying to get the attention of the French and English governments. And I know, in fact, that it is my purpose to get the attention of the English and French governments because there is connections to my existence, to the English language, and of course to the purported Church of Catholicism, which seems to be the dominant force in France and in Italy and in some parts across Greece. I seem to be tied to World War I and World War II, and I also seem to be tied to, I guess, the Bosnian massacres and Kosovo massacres and the genetic um, wiping out the people that were Muslims. um, I also seem to be tied to the staged civil unrest in the Middle East, but it doesn't really seem to be staged. In fact, it seems to be like the reality that they have this certain level of control and influence where they contain situations and contain events, but people are still getting hurt and people are still getting killed. And I'm not really safe. People are always breaking into my apartment. They're always stealing my things. The ghost agents here are always switching my phone out on me. They're always switching out my food on me. I think that there's other people here that are pretending to be me, that are wearing my clothing and eating my food. Maybe not. Um, I'm tied to the word heroin. I'm tied to the word idol. I'm tied to the word, in Spanish, ayuda. I'm tied to the word abuelos. I seem to have some sort of relationship with the religions that purport themselves as the God of Abraham. And it seems like there might be somebody around here that is passing off an FBI agent or Interpol agent off as me. And I don't work for the FBI and I don't work for Interpol. And one of my major fears is that people are going to come and arrest me and send me to a prison and I'm never going to get out. And my major fear is this because these people have the influence and the resources to pass people off as me. And not only pass people off as me, but trick people into thinking that I'm some sort of police officer, which the situation that has been imposed on me has something to do with religion and science and engineering and God. And I'm completely certain that somebody somewhere has the authority who has it out for me to put me behind bars and to keep me there. And like I said, I have proof and evidence that they've kidnapped and raped my children. I have proof and evidence that that they've killed and martyred my family members and me for their operation. And I'm here in Montreal trying to train, to fight train, because it was essentially requested of me. I've been watching cartoons and I've been into superhero things and I've been into like all these things that have to do with like epic heroes and epic acts of heroism and things like that. And they're things that I essentially grew up with that at this point in time I'm realizing that they were direct allusions to me and nothing short of commands for me to initiate me. Just like the word idol and idol as in on standby and neutral, or idol as in false idol, um, which I guess is a message to someone that I need something to say and something to do that makes it so that I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. And this is an English word, and this is embedded in also the word defeat, as in to remove your opponent's feet, but also to defeat them. And I guess this is tied to the Revelations word prophecy, or the Revelations prophecy, in which the Church of Christ has their lower classes removed from the equation, which also doesn't seem as such a righteous thing. Why would you punish the poor people and then not like harm the rich people that are trying to kill everybody or whatever? That doesn't make sense to me. But whatever it is that seems to be happening, I'm like just caught up in this thing and I'm trying really hard to kind of like keep up. And every time I'm exercising, there's some guy from the ghost field that is cramping my muscles. They're cramping my muscles sometimes at night when I'm just trying to go to sleep and I'm waking up and I'm in severe pain. And my whole life I've been harassed by the North American military and whatever powers act from behind them. I've been getting harassed by people putting things in my food that are putting a belly on me. This like literally putting like chest on me and belly on me. They're putting like some sort of sodium in my water. And I guess it's because I won't drink the bottled water at the place where I work or something, and they're upset about it. Um, I'm just not at all interested in drinking their bottled water. I'd rather drink tap water, and I drink tap water here in my house, and they like lace my food. And whenever I buy things and I bring them home, somebody comes in here and switches it out. And I guess somebody was trying to tell me that that sodium and mineral contents of food, or the contents, mineral contents of specific foods, things like cereals or um, uh, breads and things like that, like might be used to send messages across espionage fields, and that there might be a connection to this form of communication and the different planets in our solar system, which means that to someone who was familiar with the messages that were relayed by mineral contents and gas contents of the gas giant planets, and not just the gas giant planets, but Pluto and Mars and all the different planets, that there might be some sort of message there about the people that initially created Earth or created our solar system, because I guess the way with physics and the way those things work, and the ghost technology, creating technology like giant, huge, like spacecrafts to create and initiate planets into existing wouldn't be too difficult a thing. I don't know if those things are true or not. It doesn't sound like it wouldn't be true. Um, but creating your own solar system seems to be like something that is within mankind's reach. I know in the Torah it says that the sun and the moon are going to be in existence forever. So I've sat there and sort of thought about it, and there's got to be a way to recharge our sun so it doesn't get destroyed in billions of years. There's got to be a way to reinitiate the life cycle, using time travel technology, or simply by toying with its nuclear thermodynamic system in some way. But I'm pretty sure that the sun is here to stay, if humans like play their cards right and do everything right. I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't just like keep this place going indefinitely. I mean, if we're exploring space time together, right? So the like people that I'm supposed to be like role modeling and working towards trying to embody are people like, Goku from Dragon Ball Z, um, Bruce Wayne from Batman, and Superman from Superman. And there's like Marvel heroes that allude to me, but I'm currently at odds with the Department of Defense and the Disney Corporation. So I'm just going to briefly mention Bruce Banner and his in one purported episode of Bruce Banner's relationships with the different people that he faces. He faces this character called Maestro. And I remember as a kid, my dad came home with presents for me for Christmas one time. And it was sort of funny because he brought me a gift. And the gift that he gave me was a Maestro toy. And he's bearded and German looking just like my dad. The toy that he gave me literally looked just like my dad. And I just like thought it was kind of funny. Like he brought me a toy of himself, but he didn't know what it was that he was doing. And I don't think that he could have, but I mean, there's somebody that's trying to convince me that my father was an agent and that he wasn't at all like not aware of the situation, but he never said anything or alluded to anything. And he didn't know that we were Arab. He never told me that we were Arab. He just said that he was German and maybe French and Irish. After that, he didn't really explain anything. He said that we might have like part Blackfoot Indian or something, which like, I mean, all the white people always say that, right? Oh, I'm part Apache, or I'm part Iroquois, or part Cherokee. He's like another white dude that thinks that he's a native or something, right? Because that's in no way not a thing. But he came home with this Maestro toy, and the Maestro toy was like adorned with like a cracked and beaten Captain America shield and Thor's hammer, and like a sash with all these superheroes like weapons and armor and stuff, like Iron Man, all these different guys. And I guess the story of Maestro, which I don't know, alluded to the fact that Maestro had defeated all the superheroes. And I guess this is a direct satirical statement to to the situation that we're facing, which is in fact one where all the superheroes are actually not heroes at all. And of course, there seems to be some sort of Jewish humor here as well, because if Maestro defeated Thor, then Thor is not a god. So there has to be some sort of Jewish theme underlying some of the Marvel and some of the DC comic book heroes. But this Maestro figure completely resembles my father physically, and I guess there seems to be something that is being said by those stories. And I was created for the sole purpose of serving humanity and serving mankind, and they've kidnapped and raped my children, and they've killed and raped my cousins, and they've murdered and martyred my family members. And I understand that that in order to stand by humanity and to defend them, that those things are very very ordinary. There's no standing by humanity and not getting killed, and there's no standing by humanity and your children not getting raped, and there's no standing and defending humanity and them not killing members of your family. I understand this. If you take the religious aspect out of it completely, then the situation that has happened is a global community in their need to find some sort of common ground or footwork or some sort of centerpiece in order to build their desires and ambitions around, have imposed this situation on me. And I'm not saying no to that, but I am saying no to working for government agencies and federal agencies and global government agencies, because I do not trust them, because one, they're not letting me work out, and two, I'm not okay with a situation where I am not capable of writing my poetry, and I am not capable of defending myself, and I am not capable of training without the help of psychic ghost agents or kinetic psychic influence from outside of myself. So I'm not willing to submit to those conditions, and I'm also not willing to submit to working with somebody who pretends to be me or who can decoy me, who I don't understand or who I don't know who they're working for. I suspect that there's clones of me that were raised in Saudi Arabia and Germany and England and France and Italy and probably China and Japan. Everyone probably has access to my genetic material and to copies of me. It wouldn't surprise me at all, just because I know specifically that there's more than one version of my daughter, and that there's several different variations of my daughter, and that they've been raping them, and I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere's conditioned one of them to be a cannibal and practice ritual sacrifice. Just because it doesn't sound so far-fetched, because, I mean, if somebody went out of their way to make Ray Charles, which is a blind piano player, then there's no way somebody wouldn't make a celebrity that is also a cannibal. Because if I'm sitting around indulging my capacity to just create humans and express stories, why wouldn't I do that? Especially if I'm this crazy guy who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. How is that rational? I'm going to make a black man that's blind, but he's really good at piano. Like, that just, I don't understand how that is like a rational thing for a genetically engineered, superior, intellectual, technologically capacitated human to do. It just doesn't, like, oh, just because it makes more money or something? I don't understand it. I'm not necessarily defending him specifically because I'm not capable of defending people that are Christians and Catholics because of their purported paganistic values and ideas and who they might be tied to, and also because I've learned and I've been taught to reassert the value system that comes from the Torah, which asserts that you're not supposed to benefit from idolatry. And my catering to those classes of people, in fact, endangers me because their leaders and their faith system is, in fact, guilty of something which seems to be tied to the current state that we find ourselves in, which is one in which the economic system was created to fall apart, to kill the lower classes of people, and to inhibit and create division between the middle class and the highest class of people. Excuse me. So the thing that I'm facing is a body of people that say that they are in charge, but in order for them to really be like the dominant authority here on planet Earth, they would have to be capable of proving that they went back in time and then selectively bred themselves out of apes, which I don't think that they're capable of doing. I don't really know how that would work. Somebody would have had to have influenced them into going back in time and selectively breeding themselves out of apes. But I don't really know if we were just spontaneously evolved from monkeys, or if if we were also selectively bred. I've been wondering if maybe the different variations of humans that are on planet Earth come from different parts of the galaxy where mammals evolved differently. Maybe we come from the same root strain, and maybe not. I don't really know. But I'm going to cut this video short because they always take forever to load, and I'm pretty sure I'm on a private closed-circuit internet, which means that nobody who I'd want to get this video would get this video, but hopefully it goes into some secret file with all the other government files with pictures of me flipping you guys off in some hard file or some software program somewhere buried so that everybody knows that I completely hate and detest you. And I am trying really hard to deal with all this animosity and all this restraint that I'm facing, dealing with trying to help reliable government agents expose the corrupt officials that want to keep us genetically enslaved and keep us ignorant and keep us from being time-traveling psychic astronauts that are 20 years old forever. Because that's essentially what we're capable of doing. We're capable of feeding every starving person on the face of the earth, and capable of taking every 80-year-old and making them look and feel 20 years old. And we're also capable of time traveling and space traveling, and those things are in no way not important to me. And I'd like to follow my father's footsteps and be something of a teacher, to the people of the world, because he was a teacher and he really loved what he did, essentially, even if he was being influenced. I mean, that was his main things. Like every day he woke up and he went to school and he taught. And he really enjoyed being a teacher, and he taught me everything that I know, and he taught me how to read, and he taught me how to write. I'm having trouble doing things here like reading and, like I said, exercising. Somebody seems to be threatened by me, and they're poisoning my food to keep me fat, and they're poisoning my food to keep a belly on me, and they're also, like I said, they're also like just doing really messed up things. And I'm trying to, I need to be capable of being Goku. I need to be capable of being Superman and Batman. And these people are deliberately inhibiting my capacity to do those things, which in fact incriminates them. But I'm in fact subject to a criminal state that isn't practicing reliable and honest authority. And the whole purpose of creating me, and this has been at the very least 100 to 150 year long ordeal that they've gone through to create me and refine the English language and the French language and the Spanish language in order to communicate not just to me but to people around me. And it's 150 years, that it took to create me. And I'm I'm totally here to be a servant of humanity and guardian to humanity, but the people that have control of the ghost armies and the ghost technology on the device in my head, which inhibits my diabetes ailment so that I'm not taking insulin shots every time I pig out on chocolate and candy, which I do quite a bit. There also seems to be something wrong with my back and my knee and my wrists and my heart, and somebody's deliberately going out of the way to prevent me from getting into any physical altercations. But I know for a fact that the people that are behind this operation and intended to expose people with this operation intended for me to be a physical combatant, which means I need to be capable of defending myself against top-notch hitmen that work for the government agencies and that the government agents are initially purportedly afraid of, which is something that they just don't want me to have access to, probably because they're protecting people that have raped my children and that have also betrayed their own people. So I don't know. This is where I'm at today, and this is my complaints is that I keep trying to work out, and somebody's deliberately getting in the way of my working out. On top of destroying my clothing, and on top of destroying and stealing my stuff, um, I've gone to the police. The police told me that they can't help me. So I'm caught up in the middle of a war, and this is essentially your war. I mean, like I said, I didn't go back in time and influence you guys into creating me. I didn't go out of my way to inhibit you guys from exercising or poison your guys' food. I didn't make slaves out of you guys, so I really don't understand why anybody here would fall in line and say, "Oh, this is the right thing to do. We're being loyal to a righteous authority, or we're doing the right thing for Germany, or we're doing the right thing for England, or we're doing the right thing for Italy." Because it doesn't seem at all like that's what they're doing. But I guess heroism doesn't really mean anything to anybody. I mean, I don't think the Swedes would have named the opiate derivative heroin if it wasn't for the fact that they were also involved in trying to expose something and expose these people. There also seems to be a connection between my butt and the word holy, which I know in fact means that I'm taking a certain level of disrespect from English people, and it's because there was like a homosexual act in which was imposed on me, in which another gay male touched his penis to my anus but didn't get to penetrate my anus. And I guess that's also why they called the planet Uranus, which means it's something that at least goes as far back to the naming of the anus after the Greek deity or whatever. And I also know that brown dwarf is like an allusion to me because there's like some story in Hinduism that's associated with like manifestations of Vishnu or something, which I mean, it might have been something that had been refined or created a little bit later. But but I think the fact that a brown dwarf is a failed star is an allusion also to the Star of David, or maybe the five-pointed star associated with the Islamic banner under the Ottoman Empire, which might not be a real thing, or maybe it is. I'm not really certain. At the moment, I wear a t-shirt with a crescent moon and a Star of David as my way of saying that I'm loyal to God and I'm not trying to hurt this purported King David. I'm not even sure if King David is a real person, but there seems to be some level of truth to the fact that the Greeks were the fathers of the European nations. So if there's some truth to that because you see it in their language, then there has to be some level of truth that there's Arabs somewhere that are mystics, and the Arabs are also responsible for our numerical value system, which means that they might have something to do with the technology as well. So those are my complaints. I'm trying to work out to be capable of defending and protecting the people of the world, and these people are keeping me broke and they're keeping me vulnerable. And I'm not at all confident in whatever it is that is going on here, but I have to be here to get this case in the government file to get the attention of the French and English governments, but nobody's called me and nobody's really talked to me directly, and I don't have reliable internet and phone service. And like I said, there might be like a goody two-shoe inspector that comes from England or France and comes here to talk to somebody, and they talk to my clone because they're always bullying me. They're trying to bully me out of my place, and I'm completely certain it's because they want to put somebody else here so they can pass somebody else off as me, and hide me somewhere from whoever they need to hide me from. So I guess that's it for today. I'm going to tell on you until I can get away with doing whatever I need to in order to help humanity and help mankind. You were warned. I warn you several times when you're harassing me here when I'm working out and everything that I'm doing. So you can't say that you didn't know, and you can't say you don't understand what you're doing, or that you're insane, or that you're young and you're just stupid. So that's life. Bye.